my name is Maleia A, and I am here to talk to you about our future in technology and entertainment. I decided to talk about my experience with this new technological advance before it becomes the present. In this generation, technology has progressed so much that virtual reality would now be the new way to experience video games and movies. Virtual reality is when a high-definition world is created that you could actively explore and physically move in. I was lucky enough to have been one of the first people to play the virtual reality demo of the Paranormal Activity video game. And after experiencing it, I can attest to the power it can have over the human brain. When I went to the video game studio, I put on the virtual reality headgear, and all I could see was the dark room they had put me in, so I could practice moving and picking up items. This dark room was so detailed that it looked like I was physically standing inside this virtual room. Then I put on a headset that played the sounds in the game that simulated sounds you'd hear as if it were real life, such as footsteps and creaks on the floor. To help follow my every movement, I had to hold a controller in each hand, and they actually appeared on the screen as hands as well. After about 5 minutes of practice, the video game employee conducting the game said it was time for me to move on to the actual demo. The employee said that I could take off the VR helmet while the demo loaded, and so I did. When I took off the helmet and saw the actual room I've been in for the whole 5 minutes, I actually felt like I was portal jumping. It did not feel like I was leaving a virtual world. Instead, it felt like I was moving from one room to the other. I was soon about to discover how powerful and effective the virtual reality was in tricking my brain. Can you please play the video? I finally got put into the Paranormal Activity demo. I was walking down a hallway in an empty house. All I heard was the footsteps from the headset, yet I believed they were mine. The house looked completely normal, except for the realistic, dark red bloodstains and crooked photos on the wall. At the end of the hallway was 2 possible directions I could go in. I looked down the left passageway, and the helmet picking up my movement made the screen turn at the same time, as if I was looking down the left hallway in real life. I then looked to the right, and again the point of view changed, so it revealed the right hallway. I decided to physically turn the corner and then walk down the right passageway. A picture frame fell off the wall to the ground, and I literally jumped as if it was about to fall on my foot. Having the artificial senses of sight and hearing tricked me into thinking that I physically felt it crash onto the ground next to me. At the end of the passage was a little girl dressed in rags covered in blood, crying in a corner with smudged, bloody handprints decorating the wall. I just stood there, looking at the little girl crying, and the lights in the game started to flicker. I began to shake, and when that girl turned into a scary demon and popped in my face, I screamed. It was a real, blood-curdling scream that cannot possibly be recreated unless I was ever in a situation of true fear and danger. I was still in the virtual reality simulation when I reminded myself, this is fake, it's all digital, and I'm really in a video game studio. When my brain felt that the simulation was so real, it felt like I was telling myself a lie. The girl-turned demon disappeared. I felt my heart rate rise and my breathing getting heavier. I was shaking uncontrollably as I weakly and slowly continued walking through the house. But I couldn't get my emotions pulled together. I trembled as I constantly repeated to the employees in the room, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for this. But they never responded to my fearful claims, which made me feel even more alone and isolated in that demonized house. I then walked into a little kid playroom. The room didn't even look scary. In fact, it looked like just a regular playroom, but with a huge fabric tent in the middle. But yet I could not shake the feeling of impending doom. And unfortunately, unlike real life, there is no going backwards in video games. I felt like I was trapped and the only way I can go is forward. I decided to be brave and crouched down and crawl into the tent. The inside of the tent was completely pitch black, and all I could see was a flashlight on the ground. I picked up the flashlight with the button on the controller. I didn't want to turn on the flashlight because I knew what would happen if I did. I fearfully turned on the flashlight. A demon face even more terrifying appeared. I screamed a louder and more eerie scream than before. I immediately turned off the flashlight and I stayed inside my crutch ball having a mini panic attack. I was so terrified that I refused to get out of the tent or even turn on the digital flashlight. I just sat in a ball trying to get my emotions together. Still trembling in the crutch ball, I yelled, "I'm not ready for this." The employees who didn't notice my trembling said, "You're fine, just go on." I turned on the flashlight again, but this time I closed my eyes and counted to 5, and luckily there was nothing there. I then crawled out of the tent terrified about seeing the demon again. All I could think was, I'm in a house alone with a demon. The terror I felt was so strong that I thought that everything that had happened in this monster house was real. I was so terrified that I begged them to take me out of the demo, and the employee said I could exit the simulation. I felt a wave of relief crash into me, and I quickly took off the helmet and headphones. But then I felt hot water welled behind my eyes. I couldn't help but cry. I was still traumatized from what felt like a near-death experience. I know mind over matter is an important aspect in life. Sorry, can you please play a video? Okay, thank you. Is an important aspect in life. After telling my mom what had happened, she said that she went into the virtual reality, she wouldn't have been scared because of mind over matter. She believed that she would remember that she was going to a fake world. But take it from me, this technology is designed to trick the human brain. Virtual reality technology is so strong that it can make any person feel real fear and real danger. As you can tell from these videos, it's not just me being overdramatic. But not only can this new video game and virtual reality in general can make you feel like you're in danger, but I believe it is dangerous. Believe it or not, people, virtual reality is our future. Soon there will be virtual reality video games, movies, concerts, and even school field trips. But with the technology we have now, older generations are complaining about us being obsessed. But at least when our generation is on their phone, they're interacting with people through text and social media. What will happen to communication if there is a virtual reality paradise island game made? No one would want to leave their house because they wouldn't want to leave their own personal paradise that feels so extremely real. The next generation would never want to travel because eventually there would be a cost-effective virtual reality tour of Europe game made. And I don't even want to think about what will happen once virtual reality pornography is sold. However, there are some positive experiences that virtual reality can bring. When the Google Expedition virtual reality project comes to schools, students would be able to travel the world and go to places they might not have the opportunity to right there from inside their classroom. However, the future generations will be trapped in the worlds of virtual reality. And I think that what makes it so harmful is that it can make you feel real peace, real fear, and even raw happiness. I think that if virtual reality was the new it system, people would forget to enjoy the real world. It will be a dangerous thing when real kids pass up on real opportunities because their fake ones are so good. Unfortunately, this is our future, and we should appreciate the real moments and remember the real memories you've had. Thank you.